So, welcome back to a video. This is not the tracking update video. This I will still put out Saturday, Sunday. This video we will look back because I think it's now 9 months of this channel, and we will go through every single stock I presented on this channel. And we'll look, was the tracking right? Was the tracking wrong? So we get the result, how many times I was right, how many times I was wrong. Just because when someone is saying, which I got today again, I am 100% wrong and I was never right, I can give this person this video. And I mean, I want to know it myself. For the rules for this contest, I am wrong when the stock is not doing the bearish version and is not doing the bullish version. If something is happening which I didn't show, then my prediction is wrong. So, well, let's start. So, again, no tracking update today, but it was a good close today, in my opinion. Our target was not breaking 172, and we holded it quite pretty good. For when I started my tracking on this, I think it was October-ish, something like that. Yeah. The tracking to the downside, I mean, it was quite easy. Yeah, that was nothing really special to do. The only tricky part was down here to really find the bottom. I think back then we started here and then here. Yeah, but show me one person who got the bottom absolutely right. Just saying. But since then, in my opinion, this tracking here, yeah, especially since March, was pretty fucking on point and perfect. With one exception, and this was this higher low here. Because back then I wanted to see this. Okay, we didn't got it. But I called out this drop, and 30 minutes before it happened, you can watch it on the homepage. And also I perfectly track this higher low. Yeah. So okay, the timing is off the table. Yeah. We will talk about that in the next videos, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Because my main tracking was January to May. This is off the table. Yeah. Again, show me someone who didn't thought it was January, May. Yeah. Because that's normally in the last 6 years what AMC and GME did. But I maybe have a reason for it. But the thing is, the price action was perfect tracking, in my opinion, till now. Yeah. Again, we didn't even took the bearish versions here. Yeah. But again, my tracking is wrong on AMC. If we now suddenly do this, yeah, then it's wrong. But right now, except timing, all this I showed perfectly. So for me personally, GME is a win. Next one, GME, also here. I think, I don't know if it was October or somewhere in here when I start showing GME, but also here with a lot of backflash, with a lot of hate. I showed this perfectly. Yeah. And I got really a lot of hate for this drop and no, not possible, whatever, and so on. Yeah. We had our bullish alternatives. We had our bearish main. We still have. We have our maximum bullish alternatives. We have our bearish alternatives. But right now, GME is fucking slow. And I hate it. Yeah, because the fractal is, for me personally, quite weird. But the tracking was right. So check for GME. Next one, BYND. And BYND was or is the first fail in this list. Just because I think we started here, or I started here with showing BYND. To make that absolutely clear, this I showed, in my opinion, perfectly. Even this uptrend I showed perfectly. And the downtrend was perfectly shown till this point. Yeah, till June, what was it? June 9th. Yeah. Because for my main tracking back then, this was A, and A isn't allowed to drop under the 786. Yeah. And my bearish orders, if we break this level, this would become T, and the play is dead. Yeah. The main tracking, the bullish one we have now, that this is higher low, is an exception for beyond. Right now it's working, but this is an exception for beyond. I didn't had this bullish alternative. Yeah. That's why I also still bearish as long as we don't go over 84. But yeah, I didn't had this alternative. Yeah. So even if this whole thing was right, this was wrong. So to make it absolutely clear, for beyond, the tracking is a failure, is wrong. Next one, FFAI. FFAI, I think I also started quite early. The first video for this was September-ish or something like that. Back then, our main tracking was still that this would be a higher low. But we had the alternative that if we break this level, this becomes T. Sadly, FFAI decided to do this. Yeah? But we had the alternatives. What's very important on this channel is we have our bullish levels, we have our bearish levels. In the moment we're breaking the bearish levels or the bullish version, the tracking is changing. That's why I always show an alternative. Yeah, there is no hopium, there is no fear mongering, and well, we had this alternative. Yeah, right now this is our macro high level. If we touch 20 cents, FFAI, the fractal, is deciding that this thing will die. But the tracking is there for it. So for me personally, this is a check because no surprises. Next one, HKT. HKT, I mean, from the beginning, I said it's an absolutely YOLO play. And when I say it's an absolutely YOLO play, that means the probability that it's going bullish is under 5%, maybe even under 1%. Yeah? But the tracking for HKT was always, we are holding this higher low, which we're still doing, and break upside and do something absolutely stupid. Or the bearish alternative, this thing it dies and it's over. Yeah, yeah, for both cases. And it's fucking doing nothing and it's slow. Okay, yeah, but still, two versions, no surprises. So also, check. Next one, plug. I mean, for plug, I don't really show that too often because it's not moving. Yeah, but also, I think it was one of the earlier stocks. But also for plug, we have two versions. The bullish version, where this in May is our all-time low, or the low from this fractal. We already did a pullback, and now creeping up. Yeah, and we should bounce here. If we breaking downside from here, we still have the bearish alternative that this whole thing was T, and we will make new lows. Yeah, so both cases presented. The most important thing are levels, but also here, no surprises yet. So check. Next one, open. And for open, I mean, I made in the last video the update for it. For open, the tracking broke for me. Yeah, back then, because as I told you the story, I already played open here. I played this whole thing. Yeah. The first time I showed open, I don't know, was somewhere in here. Could be wrong. But I played this. And back then, I was wrong because, as explained in the last video, if you're interested, watch it. For me, was this already the V because it was so perfect. Yeah, but that was wrong. But what I was showing, we have the bullish and the bearish alternative. No surprises. Yeah. So for me also, this was right. Next one, Doku. Also not so often on the channel because it's fucking slow. But this is the second one. I had to change my tracking and I was wrong because the first fractal I was showing was the idea that I think it was back here in December 2025 that we were The comparison to this would have been this. And to be fair, if you compare these two, I think quite a lot of people would say, yep, this is exactly this. Yeah. But with this drop, no. Yeah. So I already, I think I talked already about the update, and I think I loaded up on the homepage, but the current fractal tracking and position would be this. And this should follow. But to make it clear, the first showing was wrong. So Doku is a candidate for being wrong. It was the second one. Next one, GNS. GNS is quite similar to FFAI. I started also GNS quite early. I think it was here before this mega candle in November 2025. Back then, we tracked this as a higher low. But we also, like FFAI, we had this level for 20 cents. I said that in every single update video. The bearish alternative is if we break 20 cents, this play is over. It will go down. It will reverse split the list or whatever. And GNS decided to break it. Yeah. So as long as we're not suddenly squeezing and still going down or sideways, I presented both versions. So tracking is right. Next one, NEO. And NEO was, but still is, one of the two of my best and easiest fractals. Yeah. But I agree, there was something wrong. Yeah. But before we go to this, one absolutely clarification. I started showing NEO, I think it was somewhere in here. I perfectly showed the peak on October 6th. Even with a lot of hate of Asian people, I don't know why. Yeah, with a lot of Asian people, I stayed to my tracking that we will fall. On the cent, I showed tracking for this bounce back here, yeah, on February 3rd. And then we tracked it perfectly up here. The moment it was wrong was somewhere in this section here. I agree. We shouldn't have fallen so low. And my target was end of June. Yeah, just because of this M, this V should give us B. And this was end of June. And we should already be there. Yeah. So in that case, I was wrong. But that one is timing. The other thing is we went a little bit too low. The previous position for this was this. Yeah. Right now, I will make the update on Sunday. I think we're just here in this higher low before we start here. Yeah. And to make that absolutely clear, we will talk about it in the update video. If we break 439, that's really bad. Yeah. I made a new alternative, but then we would be something that would be really bad, just saying. But again, I mean, you can decide if it's wrong or not. Yeah. But I tracked all this here, absolutely fucking right. Only this not. Yeah. But with our rules for this contest, I had to change something on this tracking, so it's wrong. Next one, Riot. Yeah, and Riot is the second one of these two, of NEO and Riot, with the easiest perfect tracking. Yeah. As I always showed, for me, this is exactly the same like this, just way bigger. And it's still doing what it should. I always said to it, this is a slow burner. We have high price targets, but I always said, whatever position you get, it should be at least 2027. Yeah, no financial advice. Just because it is slow. Yeah, you have to look at it. This is this. Yeah, it's fucking slow. But the tracking is perfect. Yeah? Next, Bed Bath & Beyond. So, Bed Bath & Beyond, I started showing also somewhere in here. Yeah. And we have a bullish and a bearish tracking. Bullish tracking was perfect higher low, also said that. And we can go up. We just slow. You have to look at that. We're just slowly trending up. Yeah. I think really it's for all memes. Yeah, they are waiting. Yeah, they are waiting for the decision. Massive breakout, massive pullback. Yeah, but for tracking wise, perfect. The only alternative we always had, I always showed, is that this is not a higher low, that this is T. If we break 356, or for confirmation already, I have to make an update on this, 448, yeah, this thing will go down. But we have tracking on that. So also, no surprises. So check. Next one, DGT. And DGT is the third one on the list where I was wrong. Yeah? Because the previous tracking was like this, and that this here will be the V. Yeah, which it wasn't. Yeah, and the new tracking is really this. I mean, maybe we already found this little bottom here. Yeah, I will also make an update on this. Next target would be still, it is playable, 34-ish, but this would still be macro T. To make that clear, in that case, this is playable. Yeah, but you would still look for a new ultra blow. But doesn't matter now. The thing is, my previous tracking was wrong. Yeah, so I had to change it. So this is the third one, which was wrong. Next one, FLNA. Also a ticker which choose the bearish side. Yeah. I was tracking it, I think. I started here, showing, I think I showed it with the creation of the channel back here. Back then, we tracked this as a higher low. But to say this pullback, we stay tracked perfect. And I always said to it, it's an absolutely risky YOLO play. Also, the bearish alternative was always, if we're breaking this low, this is over. And the bearish alternative takes over. So it did that. But the tracking was still right. Yeah, bearish and bullish alternative. Only if FLNA plötzlich do this now, yeah, then my tracking is wrong. Otherwise, still okay. Next one, bull. And that was the fourth one. I was wrong. And for this, I really hate myself. Because I have a rule on this for myself. Yeah, don't touch with serious tracking anything under 2 years. Yeah, so the company has to be older than 2 years. But it looked so good back then. Yeah, but again, yeah, I think I tracked. Yeah, was it here? Something in here I tracked. And this is a V. Yeah, was wrong. Absolutely. Yeah. And since today, I'm still waiting for a better version for this tracking. I didn't found one yet because it's still way too young. Yeah, but doesn't matter. Tracking was wrong. Next one, hymns. So for hymns, I think we started also quite early, something 2025 on this channel. And we had bullish and bearish tracking. And for this, I even leaned more bearish. I think I still do. Yeah. The bearish version, while the bullish version was, we are finished here for macro B and going up. Let's see if this does. My alternative was always, we go up here, we have to break this level. If we don't break this level, this will be M. And you will fucking go down. Presented both versions. And there were no surprises. So also, correct. Next one, Sound Hound. Also here, we have a bullish and a bearish version. Yeah. For me, it was always more the bearish version. Yeah, where you really go down. But we also have the bullish version where we will bounce at 484. It's also a quite young company, and that's why we have our levels. Bounce here or break down. Yeah, but till today, no surprises. So correct. Next one, Unity. And Unity was really something very, very early. Back then, we had different tracking, yeah, where this was just A, yeah, but the thing for Unity is I predicted on the day without news. We had no news here. Still, I predicted on the day, even I think 1, 3, 4 weeks out, this massive knife. Only difference is I thought this was the bottom. Yeah, this went way too low. Yeah, but it was predicted as a short play. So okay, you can be angry that you only made 50% of what you could have done, but it still worked out. Yeah, but still, I had to change my tracking after that. Yeah, because this is our main tracking now, which looks very interesting. But the thing is, this display was for a short, and it was right. So I will take it out of the contest, yeah, because I changed it. It did what it should, but I had to change the tracking. So there's no discussion. It's just a 0. Next one, silver. I was showing silver only a few times, my tracking on silver, most of the time for the question, is silver synced with memes or whatever? But I think I showed it, I start showing it here or something like that. But still, since then, my target is still 46 or even lower. I also said we will bounce here and doing our T. So since then, perfect. I don't know if this channel will see the ending of the silver tracking, because silver is a massive thing and main position is back here 1973, and silver is not something which is moving quick. It can move hard, much, but not quick. Yeah, you see the years down here. And I don't think I will make YouTube videos in 30 years. So, but still, tracking for silver, perfect. Next one, Blackberry. I don't think I ever showed it on a video. At least I didn't find it, but I made an update on the homepage. We have bullish and bearish tracking for Blackberry. I think I showed it here, somewhere in here. My main tracking is still bullish, means we break through 14 and we would be still here. This would be the tracking after that. Or we reject here. Could be already be the rejection and we would be here. In that case, we're looking still for a higher low. Yeah? But because I never talked about it in a video and only showed it on the homepage, okay, it's also a 0, but all tracking was right. Next, KOSS. Was also not very often showing it, only sometimes for comparison with sync with AMC and GME. And not a lot of you are interested in it because no options and very, very slow. It's the turtle of the memes. But tracking wise, I never had to change it. Also, perfect. Right. Next one, GoPro. For GoPro, sadly, I'm doing update right now to make it better to understand. But the thing is with GoPro, we have a bullish and a bearish version from the beginning on. Yeah, it's sad that it's doing right now more the bearish version than the bullish version, because I'm also in it. I have a position which is quite fucked. But the thing is, there are no surprises. I mean, it a little bit surprised me that we go the bearish route. Or not from no confirmation yet, but more likely. But still, we had our levels and we had the bearish version. So yeah, not wrong. Next one, Canopy. And for Canopy, it's a little bit younger. I think we started tracking it in February, March, something like that. I was more bullish on Canopy than bearish. I also have a position. I still have it, sadly. But we always had the alternative. Right now, I really have to say I'm 50-50 or if bullish or bearish. Yeah, it's just doing fucking nothing. It's even worse than Beyond, in my opinion. Yeah, but we have the bullish and the bearish way. And for this, well, I also said, be careful. For this, go into at least January contracts. No financial advice. Everything shorter is YOLO. Yeah? So let's see how this plays out. But since now, there are no surprises. And the same thing is Sunday. Yeah. Also, same thing. We have the bullish and the bearish version. Also here, I said, if you want to play it bullish, no financial advice, look for Januaries. Of course, the 2026s are cheaper. But first of all, they were all cheap. And second, more time. But also here, we have the bullish and the bearish version. And the same like Canopy, it's right now doing nothing. But it's not doing something which wasn't shown. So check. Next one, C3I. And C3I is one of the oldest. I think even it's one in the first videos where I tracked. This was the old tracking for C3I. And as you see, this tracking was wrong. Yeah. This is the tracking we are using for, I don't know, the last 1, 2, 3 months. Yeah. And we have a bullish and a bearish version here. In both cases, you should go up into 2026. The only 7. The only difference is if you're pulling back after that, are you doing a new low or a higher low? That's the tracking. But again, I had to change this. So C3I was wrong. This one, this new tracking is still looking fire. Next one, VIX. And most of the time I'm showing VIX for confirmation plays for SPY and IWM and NASDAQ for do we have a confirmation for upside or downside. I'm showing this since December, January sometimes. Quite always when we're looking if is the market bullish or bearish. The tracking is still perfect. Of course, there are sometimes weird candles on VIX, but I mean, okay, give me at least this. We are talking about the volatility index. Of course, it can happen that sometimes on the micro tracking, we may be going over some levels. But the main point is the macro tracking. The overall look for VIX till today is still that VIX is going down, which means a bullish market. And since I'm showing it, there were no big surprises. So I think also for this, check. Next one, CRWV. More newer stock. Yeah. I think I showed it in March or something like that. We started to look at. I showed a bullish and a bearish version. I was way more bullish on this, but I also showed the alternative. I mean, we had our levels not to break. Yeah. So I showed bullish tracking and said, if we break this level, it would be bad and over. And it even fucked me. Yeah. I had to close my position, I think here, something like that. I could have made way more. Yeah. But the shitty thing turned bearish. Yeah. But the thing is, we had the levels. I say it again, levels are on this channel the one and only, or however you call it. Yeah. If you're breaking bearish, or if you're breaking levels to the bear side, that's a fact. If you're breaking levels to the upside, that's a fact. Yeah. So I still think, even if it's not meant the bearish route, it was shown. Next one, OKLO. OKLO was the same time, I think, like CRWV. I had a worked out bearish version for OKLO and the bullish version. I lent more to the bullish version. I had also a position because, yeah, if I see something very bullish, perfect. But it did the bearish version, and the bearish version is still playing out. Sadly, quite perfect. Yeah. But again, we had the bearish and the bullish version, and since today, there are no surprises. So also, right. And last one, CLOV. Also, was showing this, I think it was April, could be wrong, somewhere in this uptrend. I mean, okay, it's quite easy. Since then, we're just going up. Yeah. So also, perfect tracking. Yeah. Nothing wrong. So, before we come to the conclusion, I on purpose didn't put in a SPY, NASDAQ, and IWM because we have many small plays in this, yeah, and more often right, quite often right and wrong. But if I put 20 times SPY on 20 times NASDAQ into it, it would fake the statistic. Yeah. And I also didn't put in the community wishes, yeah, because it's a one-time thing. I think this and this. And it's also would fake the statistic. I also didn't put in, where is it? I didn't put in Ether, TDOC, ARC, for example, because they are too young. It doesn't help the statistic if I show something a week ago and say, yeah, the tracking is absolutely cool, and make that as a plus point. Yeah. It has to be something we are tracking already longer, because it would be fake the statistic. Yeah. So if you look at that, I was showing 27 tickers. 6 tickers I had to change the tracking. Even if I say NEO was 90% right, doesn't matter. 6 tickers were wrong. So with this statistic, since the last 9 months-ish, I was 22% wrong, 78% right. Yeah. You can look it up. Yeah, you can think this is okay or not. I even tried to look up if someone else is doing such a summary. I didn't find one. Never. Maybe you can show me someone on YouTube who is that transparent. Yeah. But I think that's a quite good hit rate. Yeah. So to tell me I am 100% wrong and never right, I don't know. For me personally, that's okay. But to make that again absolutely clear, first of all, if you don't like my tracking, if you think I'm 78% wrong, it's okay. Stop watching me. Yeah. I am not selling memberships. I am not selling a Discord. I am not selling courses or whatever. This channel is absolutely free. If you don't like it, go. I'm doing this not for views. Yeah. Let's say AMC is breaking 172 next week. In my opinion, it's over for this year. And I will say that even if I lose 90% of you, I won't lie. If I think something is absolutely fucking bearish, I will do that. I'm not doing this for clicks. The main idea for this channel was a trading channel for myself and a little bit fun. Yeah. But especially as a trading channel. Because really, I just think, okay, I track this ticker. So let's look. What did I track? Okay, then I look up my video and look and listen to it. Okay, what was my thoughts about that back then? It's perfect. It's even better than writing it down. Yeah. So this was my main reason for this channel as a channel. And maybe I will earn someday money from YouTube. Who cares? Yeah. I make money with this. Yeah. Because really, I make money with this, if you like it or not. So I hope that helped to get a summary. You can write me if you think I'm lying, yeah, or if I forgot something or whatever. But yeah, that's my summary from the last 9 months on this channel. And I think it's pretty good, no? Tell me. Okay, so just for the future, this video will be a separate playlist. Yeah. And every time when someone tells me you are 100% wrong, I will throw this video in his face or her face. And the next update for this video will be in the next 9 months again, something like that. Good. The normal tracking update will be out in Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Again, just as a teaser, GME is not looking that bad anymore, and AMC is looking quite fire. Yeah, just as a teaser. Okay, as always, tutorial here, playlist here. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. See ya.